I'm going to take GTA 5 from this to this. An expanded map, improved police, new vehicles, unique weapons, awesome effects, realistic mechanics, and many more with an insane 136 mods. This is the most complete GTA 5 mod overhaul on YouTube, and to make the wait for GTA 6 bearable, I'm going to show you exactly how I did it, so you can do the same with your game. The mods are in the description, let's get into it. The graphics mod we will be using is Visual V. It makes the game look that much better. While not the most spectacular, it does give GTA 5 a warmer glow, which I think is fitting for the vibe of the game. Every weather type and time cycle is overhauled and looks 10 times better than vanilla GTA 5. Sunsets look much more impressive, while the night is now properly dark, something I really like about the mod. Now night looks realistic, and without the use of artificial light you have a hard time navigating the world. Even though that sounds super obvious, I hope you get what I mean. To make the lights more impressive at night, I used the improved spotlight and LED lighting mod. It enhances the flashlight, emergency lights and spotlights, which look awesome. Weirdly, the mod also adds the visual.dat file, which gives Visual V a much sharper look. Two mods together make the night more impressive, what was previously missing from vanilla GTA 5. You can of course choose your own graphics mod. In theory, all graphics mods should work with the next mod. So the choice is yours. As mentioned before, with Visual V, every weather type now feels truly unique. From rainy nights, to overcast middays, to dramatic cloudy sunsets. Using realistic storms by elites, we can make the storms even more daunting and intense. Plus, with the Wild West Sandy Shores add-on in the realistic weather effects Unleashed mod, the dust effects in Sandy Shores are taken to a whole new level for a far more immersive look. Apart from the visuals, the map also has been completely overhauled. The first thing you will notice is the numerous props when exploring Los Santos. This is possible by the GTA 5 Remastered mod, which adds over 10,000 new props throughout the city, which makes it feel a lot more alive. You'll see new trees, new signs and new props. When we travel to the north of the map, the forest has become a lot denser. This is possible because of the Forest of San Andreas mod. The comparison to the vanilla game really puts into perspective of how many new trees are placed, making the forest now actually feel like a forest, rather than a victim of a recent bushfire. Going a bit further east, you will notice new roads at Califia. These new asphalt roads give this area at the bottom of Mount Chiliad a really unique look. I honestly love mods like these that make the game look fresh and updated. Going onto the mountain, you will notice new fire white towers looking over the forest. There are 2 more towers located this mod adds, but I will let you discover them on your own. For overhauling textures, I use the Natural Vision Evolved mod. Now you might be wondering, why does the game look exactly like the full NVE experience? Well, that is because I use specific DLC packs from the mod to upgrade many of the game textures, mainly to save on performance while still adding those awesome new visuals. Roads and pavements are completely redone, with some looking newer and others featuring cool parallax textures. Most other props have received new models and textures, making everything look way better. Neon signs and billboards are now animated, adding to the city life, and even bus stop adverts and gas station signs have been completely revamped to make them super immersive. Using the NV Chiliad DLC pack, you can now see Mount Chiliad with a snowy peak, a really nice feature of the mod. I also installed the Vegetation DLC pack, but eventually removed it because it heavily impacted my performance. If your PC can handle it though, I would definitely recommend adding that one too. For sounds, I went with the NVE Sounds add-on, which is also part of the Natural Vision Evolved mod. New sounds for car doors, tire skids, sirens, gun sounds, and many more have been added, and I'll showcase every sound gradually throughout the video. New helicopter sounds have been added thanks to Silk Witch, and almost every car in the game now features new unique horns possible with the Vehicle Horn Overhaul mod. In my opinion, this is one of the most immersive additions I've added. Something I really wish Rockstar have done better themselves. When you're speeding through traffic, the difference is especially noticeable. Take a listen. So now that we've taken the graphics, textures and sounds to a whole new level, essentially a remaster on its own, let's move on and improve one of the most boring aspects of the vanilla game, the police system. Rebalance, Dispatch, Enhance is without a doubt the best police overhaul mod for replaying the story. First off, it adds a number of new agencies and departments to the game. Aside from the LSPD and the Los Santos Sheriff Department that are already in the base game, the mods add the Blaine County Sheriff Office, Los Santos Port Authority Police, San Andreas Highway Patrol, Park Rangers, Prison Patrol, United States Coast Guard, and the United States Marshal Service. These will now all chase after the player during normal free roam. Some special regions also have their own departments like the military base and the Meriwether base. Lastly, on the higher wanted levels you will also notice SWAT, News, NFIB and even the military getting involved. I will cover more on these departments later in the video. With RDE expanded and enhanced, the variety goes even further. Now the Los Santos International Airport Police will spawn at the airport, Rockford Hills Police Department spawn in Rockford Hills, the Del Perro Police Department are seen near the beach, FLB police troopers patrol the towers in downtown Los Santos, and Security Enforcement Police guard numerous places around San Andreas. This brings the total of police departments up to 18, all of which can appear during any one level in GTA 5. Compare that to the mere 7 agencies in the vanilla game and you can see how much more dynamic and immersive the police system really is. Every department also has a variety of different units and vehicles that can be dispatched, all reacting dynamically to the chase. From normal patrol units to canine officers who will unleash a police dog at a foot suspect. When you're speeding, they will deploy faster and faster vehicles trying to match your speed. Hiding behind armor in a bulletproof vehicle will send heavier units after you. Even trying to escape via the air offers no real advantage. Depending on what aircraft you're flying, they will try to match you. And at a high enough wanted level, they will even have clearance to shoot you down. Escaping via boat also has been made more difficult. As mentioned before, there are numerous departments that will have jurisdiction over the waters around San Andreas. You will either have the port police or the US Coast Guard coming after you, and surprisingly in the LMC, the sheriff departments will dispatch their own boats and helicopters. You might think you can hide in the depths of the ocean with a submarine, well, even there you're not safe. The US Coast Guard will eventually find you with their very own submarines. Alongside these awesome new departments and units, the wanted system itself is completely overhauled and comes with many more realistic AI changes. One of the first things you will notice is the 6-star wanted level that has been restored, allowing for the possibility for more chaos. Better yet, the system can now even go beyond 6 stars, with the stars turning a deeper and deeper red to visually represent your rising heat level. With each increase, increasingly more aggressive units are dispatched. The new units range from tactical squads, juggernauts, paratroopers, helicopter snipers, annihilators, buzzard, turret squaddies, and the tanks and APC can also be called up to take you down. This makes reaching those high stars generally intense, but also really satisfying. In the base game you usually cap out at 5 stars and just go fight off SWAT. But now seeing more aggressive and better equipped units roll in as your wanted level rises feels like the police system is finally responding as the way it should. It adds the extra layer of challenge that always has been missing in GTA 5. I found myself more often than not retreating, overwhelmed by the sheer amount of units. Honestly, it feels downright scary and intense at 6 stars and beyond. When fighting the police, you will also notice AI changes that has been made to almost every police officer. They will carry new loadouts with more varied weapons and realistic patrol an area when searching for you. They take cover far more frequently, use spotlights on their cars to brighten up dark areas, and the coolest feature might be that they will give you an option to surrender at 4 stars or less. In my opinion, it is a really realistic feature and honestly something I would love to see in GTA 6. To add some real weight and consequence to this new surrender feature, I use Death Punishment by Jonas Technic and Want Consequences by HKH191. When I die, I lose 20% of my money I'm carrying on me. But if I get arrested, I only use a small amount, but all of my weapons. So when fighting the cops, there's an interesting dilemma. Do I fight with the cops and try to escape, but risk losing all of my money? Or do I surrender myself, resupply at the gun store and try again? I love moments like these where my actions actually matter, and the consequences can either send me back or benefit me. Honestly, I wish more games offered this kind of death. Anyways, I also added 2 other mechanics to the police system I think you will find interesting. First off is the arrest warrants added by the Better Chase Plus mod. Whenever I get a want level, there's a chance an officer can identify me or the car I'm driving. When I then lose the cops, they will have an arrest warrant out for me and the duration depends on how many stars I had. With this warrant out for me, police can spot me walking by and investigate me. If they then recognize me, the chase I previously had now continues. There are of course various ways to make yourself less recognizable, like repairing my car, putting on new clothes or getting a haircut. This forced me to lay lower for a while, for example after a big heist. Lastly, I added a way to lose the cops via shootout. Whenever I get a wanted level, there will be a number of cops I need to take out. When I then take out those number of cops, they will no longer be dispatched to me. And then by eliminating the remaining cops in the area, I can lose my wanted level. Honestly, this is one of the most crucial features that is missing from the vanilla police system, instead of always escaping the cops via the sewers. What I forgot to mention is that RDE and RDE Expanded and Enhanced seamlessly integrate in the story of GTA 5. You will see new units and new departments showing up in a number of missions throughout the story. Later in the video I will show some missions where they show up, but if you want to see all the changes they make to the story, you can watch my RDE mission videos where I cover every time the mod improves the story, at the end of this video. In conclusion, we have now made the police system more diverse, challenging and more consequential, with player actions now having real meaning. Next up, I want to shift the focus on the world, the NPC AI and making GTA 5 as immersive as possible. And that is what this next section is all about. To make a fictional world as convincing as possible, you need the brands in the world to almost seem real, vehicles fitting perfectly in traffic, and inhabitants that realistically populate and react to the world around them. For now, I want to focus on the latter, improving the NPCs. And one way we can do that is using the World of Variety mod, which conveniently for us is already integrated in the RDE mod. World of Variety adds new pets to the world, make DLC cars spawn in traffic, and adds new scenarios to set pets. These new scenarios range from people holding food items on their way to work, holding groceries on their way home, and even when it's raining, they will hold umbrellas to shield themselves from the rain. By the way, I used a different texture mod for the umbrella to make them black, because I did not like their original color, but that's totally optional. Gangs in Los Santos are now a lot more aggressive towards other gangs and you. Stepping foot in the wrong area and you will immediately notice they will become hostile towards you. Using the beef system created by Dead Lil Mythos, gangs will actually remember how you treat them. Whenever I attack a gang member either in a mission or outside one, the gang holds a grudge. When you then run into one of their members later, they won't hesitate to jump you for revenge. If you keep killing them, they will even call for backup. Outside their turf, they can send hit squads after you. I disabled this feature after some time because it was way too random when it would come for me and honestly pretty annoying. Immersify by Cassiter adds realistic combat AI to the NPCs in GTA 5. NPCs now have 3 different personality types, either being cowardice, aggressive or tactical, each reflecting the way they fight in gunfights. They will also react more realistically to the fight. When they are hurt or too many of their friends are killed, they will retreat and run away. Every enemy also has realistic search AI similar to the cop AI we previously covered, searching for your last known location and gradually expanding the search. And this is not the only thing the mod adds. You can now talk to any NPC you can find on the street, either greeting or antagonizing them. You're also able to rob them from the belongings, as is the same with drivers. Furthermore, the mod adds death marks on the minimap, a witness system responding to your crimes, and even more random events across the map. These range from helping out the police, random drive-bys, store robberies and many more, but I will let you discover them on your own. Using smaller mods, I added the ability to let pets be arrested by police officers, dead NPCs to be revived by paramedics, more populated interiors with random pets, and street vendors selling food at tourist attractions. You, the player, of course can also buy a delicious burger or hot dog from these vendors, and with the remastered hot dog in a bun mod by Strivar, you can even enjoy this experience to 4K. Now that we have overhauled the NPCs and their AI, I want to focus on the vehicles that drive around the city, advertising the various companies of the game. I will mainly be using the Vanilla Works Extended Pack. It originally adds add-on vehicles, but for now we'll only use the replacement variants of the vehicles. With the mod installed, a lot more companies are advertised on trucks and vans. From the Pounder, the Mul, the Benson and the various container and tanker trailers, they will all have numerous different companies displayed. Smaller vans like the Boxville, Rumpo, Pony and Taco van also have new liveries. At the airport, the smaller service vehicles like the AirTug and the RIP is displayed on them, as is the same with the jets flying over the city. You might see a trend here that I want to keep things as close as possible to the original game. Rockstar made an incredible game with GTA 5 and by adding these lore-friendly versions of vehicles, we can make the world look even more believable. Moving on, you will also notice new taxis, which are fully functional by the way, new buses, and even a new look for the metro. This is not the Vanilla Works mod, but actually the improved trams mod by Misc. On the topic of trams and trains, I also added an incredible mod by Walter. Overhauled trains, as the name suggests, overhauls the trains in GTA 5. You will now see passenger trains by Brownstreak and long cargo trains that can be 4 times as long as the vanilla trains. I will warn you though, the mod does crash your game when trying to load an older save, so be wary of that. But don't worry, it is compatible with the story and all of its missions, even involving trains. To add more variety to the game, I've implemented new license plates with the mod by WildBrick142, which I think is really awesome. It adds over 80 new license plates variants that spawn randomly in traffic. You have the standard license plates issued by State of San Andreas, but also plates from Liberty City, Alderney and even Vice City. There are custom vintage plates, North Yankton plates and plates from the LMOC region too. What I love about this mod is that the plates appear randomly in traffic. You might steal a car and notice that the license plate shows it's from Cars City. Suddenly there's an entire backstory behind the car and the only clue you have is that simple little plate. It adds a cool touch of lore to the game. To finish off this section, I've used 2 mods that improve the car color variation in traffic, making everything feel less repetitive. So with these changes we made the traffic, the world and the inhabitants a lot more immersive by adding new variants to vehicles, unique scenarios and smart AI for the NPCs. Now let's move on to the core of the Grand Theft Auto series, the shooting mechanics. Time to see how these so-called smarter NPCs react to bullets to the chest. But seriously though, we're going to upgrade the combat in the next section. For me, the combat in vanilla GTA 5 always felt pretty bland and weightless. I wanted to make the combat feel way more hardcore and feel impactful. And to do that, immersive combat by R2Paki is easily one of the best combat overhauls out there. This mod completely reworks every weapon in the game, giving them realistic accuracy, damage and effects. Shotguns are now a lot more powerful at close range, handguns deal solid damage with faster firing rates, and assault rifles hit way harder. And the minigun? It's downright ridiculous in the best way possible. My favorite has to be the carbon rifle. Combined with the new sounds, it reminds me a lot of that one shootout in the hit 1995 movie Heat. Take a listen. The mod also tweaks reload mechanics. Instead of reloading in less than a second, you will actually need to take your time when reloading. You now have to be selective about when you reload, not just because of the longer reload animation leaving you exposed, but also because of another mod called selective fire. If you still have ammo in the magazine and you reload, you will discount the remaining bullets left in the magazine. Just that little detail feels incredibly realistic. And yes, recoil is also reworked. Weapons now have a real kickback with force. I know it might look a little bit rough on screen, but you gotta trust me on this. It is more about the feel of the weapons. If you try this mod, you will know exactly what I mean by that. To improve the recto mechanics, which we all know were a bit of a downgrade from GTA 4, I used Euphoria Recto Overhaul by Migoose. Bullet impacts now have weight to your opponent. They will react realistic to the bullets and will try their best to keep upright. Being shot with a handgun in the chest is not much of a problem, while being shot with an AR in the leg might be. Shots at the neckline are especially brutal and look like they're choking on their own fluids. I think this rectal mod closely resembles that of Red Dead Redemption 2 rather than GTA 4, but I'm fine with that. Either way, it is a big improvement from the vanilla rectal animations. Moving on, I've improved the number of effects seen in combat. Epic explosions by elites makes every explosion in the game much more impactful. They are now bigger and brighter and vary depending on what explodes. Car explosions cause minimal damage, while a helicopter crash can be seen from far away. You will also notice the difference in the damage from every explosion. Grenade and car explosions can be survived, while RPGs and bigger explosions launch you even from far away. Ambient effects by Dilapidated adds bigger smoke clouds to fires, enhancing the effect in a very natural and FPS friendly way. Realistic weapon effects increases the size of the bullet impacts. Bullets will now ricochet a lot more and thus can be seen building up during shootouts. Pair this with alarm on explosions and car alarms will go off during shootouts. Looks and sounds really awesome during shootouts in the city. For the gore and blood effect, I used 2 mods that pair nicely together. Improvements in gore makes the blood effect a whole lot more profound. Depending on the caliber, bullet weapons are a lot more realistic. Next is the dismemberment mod. It is only reserved for the high impact weapons like shotguns, snipers or explosions, but it basically allows every limb to be severed. Coming back to the blood effects, I think my favorite thing has to be the gradual soakage of your clothes when you have been shot. To have more movement options, I use the stance mod, which allows me to crouch or lay down on the ground. To find a good keybind, I use X, and it's surprisingly effective in combat. Using the persistent weapon flashlight mod, we can make the flashlight always stay on, even when not ADSing. By the way, the texture I'm using for the flashlight is Clean Flashlight by the GTA King, which makes the texture more clean. For snipers, using the sniper sway mod, we can add some skill to hardscoping. Aiming now has a slight but realistic wobble that you can steady by holding your breath, adding that little bit of extra skill element. Action gear is a really unique mod, which definitely will fit in this remaster. It adds an inventory system to every character, allowing it to store health items or body armor. You can resupply by either buying them in the store or picking them up from the world. The ability to heal during gunfights adds a layer of strategy. Aside from that, body armor always felt pretty useless in GTA 5. Fortunately for us, we can use the not useless body armor mod, which changes how armor works in the game. Whenever you buy and equip armor, it now only decreases when being shot in the chest. Getting shot in the legs or arms won't take your armor points, only your health. When it does decrease, as long as you still have a sliver of armor left, you can slowly regenerate all the way up. Now armor is actually useful in combat and not just an afterthought at ammunition. But you might be thinking, won't all these additions make the game super easy? Well yes, and that is exactly why I installed I Got Shot Player Knockback mod. Whenever I lose health, I will ragdoll for a few seconds, leaving me very vulnerable. So equipping armor and taking cover is a must, otherwise you will die very easily. And also don't forget, location based damage still applies. Combine that with increased damage from the immersive combat mod and the improved AI tactics added by the Immersify mod and RDE, this makes a very different experience in combat. Lastly, when I die I lose 20% of my cash, so the game definitely has been made harder. All in all, the combat now feels a lot more dynamic, skill based and punishing, and that's why it feels so much more satisfying. And I almost forgot the new weapon models. I installed 15 new models. These range from updated pistols, shotguns and realistic ARs, to even some classics you might recognize from older GTA titles. Again, I like to use lore-friendly models, and I think these are the best selection of mods available. My personal favorite has to be the 1911 replica, as it replaced the ugly vintage pistol. You know the one. I've linked every weapon model in the video description, so you can mix and match what weapons you like. Or just toss the lore out the window and use real life weapons, that's totally up to you. Anyway, with combat feeling this good, it's only fair we give vehicles some love too. And that's what the next section is all about. To make the vehicle handling more realistic, while also making sure it's compatible with the other mods we have installed, instead of the handling, we are going to overhaul the surface we drive on. Go Stuck Yourself overhauls every surface in the game, from the standard paved roads to dirt roads and slick mud. While in the vanilla game you could drive a sports car through a swamp near Fort Nakudo, this is not the case anymore. Using the wrong vehicle, you will have little to no traction in off-road environments. While a sports car might easily escape the cops in the city, in the desert it would make a terrible driving experience. Same goes for off-road cars. While normally they are unreliable because of their slow speed, in muddy areas you have a much greater chance of outrunning your opponents. It makes you really think about your vehicle choice for every journey, which adds that little bit of strategy and immersion. Originally I used inverse power to keep the wheels spinning while they are stuck in the mud, but I also found that the mod makes handling on some cars a little bit more realistic. While you won't notice in normal civilian cars, high torque muscle cars now have a slight learning curve to them. If you just accelerate at full power, you will likely lose control because of the lack of traction you have. Now you have to ease the accelerator with high powered cars to effectively reach high speeds. It also makes drifting and burnout a whole lot easier, which is an added bonus. To make the first person camera more immersive in vehicles, I'm using the Viewpoint V camera mod. This makes the driving more immersive by increasing the field of view in the car and making it react more dynamically to your movements. There are also a lot of other camera this mod includes, which you can discover in this video, that I will link at the end of this video. While in first person, I've paired it with the gear shift animation mod, which adds a realistic shifting motion when driving. For third person, brake light system by Razy Legs is a small but essential touch. Your brake lights will now stay on when you stop, just like in real life. You also notice a clean speedometer on the minimap from the authentic speedometer mod. Minimal, functional and non-intrusive. As for planes, I have added the realistic jet engine mod by Camcore. Remember in the mission Legal Trouble where the jet lands and blows the cop cars away? This mod adds that feature in free roam. Honestly, it's pretty fun to mess around with the cops, blowing them away with the jets. Seeing the jets up close, I really appreciate the liveries we have added in the previous section. Not just for the planes, but for all vehicles. But what I did not tell you is that I also overhauled 20 other vehicles. Some changes are fairly minor, like the stock Buffalo or an improved Ranger, where you might not even notice the improvement, but some are more noticeable, like the improved Patriot, the Karen Rebel and the upgraded Suntrap, which now looks like a small yacht and surprisingly has an enterable interior. Cars like the Oracle and Tailgater have been tweaked with Eurospec details, while others like the tow truck and Cuban 800 now feature a cleaner, more polished look. I also added the US Air Force livery to the cargo plane seen in Minor Turbulence. Again, I have linked them all in the description just like the other mods, so you can choose which one you like and which one you don't. Just make sure to install them all in the optional addons.rpf folder, located in the RDE DLC. This keeps things tidy and safe on storage space. To go along with the vehicle upgrades, I also added improved mud and scratch textures. These look really impressive, although the scratches look a bit rough and unrealistic. But I am curious if you think they are improvement over the vanilla textures. Let me know in the comments. Honestly, playing the story again with the RD expanded and enhanced mod is fun enough on its own. Plus seeing new vehicles ride by, pets interacting with each other and the new neon sights at night makes me want to play for hours. Some missions like Complications also have been improved with the Complication beta mod. You will now have to climb the vines with this new animation. This was actually in the beta of GTA 5 and I wonder why they removed it. New outfits are also seen, mainly using the beta clothes by Alex106, which as the name suggests adds the beta clothes to all characters. Some are very hard to notice, but they do make for an awesome immersive change to the story. Mainly using the old Bugstar outfit for Michael during the Jewel Store heist smart approach.
Let's go.
But during my playthrough, I did become bored of the story of GTA 5. Maybe because I already completed so many times, but also because of outside the missions there's not much to do. The only way I could make money was by a random cash wreck event or robbing convenience stores. So what I did was add an extra element to this section of the game. Instead of only robbing the cashier of the store, you can also go to the back of the store and try a shot at cracking the safe for some extra cash. While this made me some money, it was not enough. Luckily, Flat Export Garage adds a repossession style missions. You have a list of cars you can always turn in for cash, or when available participate in unique missions. These range from drag racing where the winner gets the car, or repossession from an inbound supercar. Now that I have enough money, I can spend it at a new dealership, or invest in companies used in the Global Invest mod. This makes the game outside of the missions as fun as the missions themselves. I also found that because of all the improvements we made to the game, the map feels even bigger than it already was. From the city to the desert to the forest areas. This is because every area feels unique in its own way. From the environments and the props themselves to the cars and the pedestrians that spawn in that particular area. From the increased police patrols in the downtown area to the homeless crisis in South Los Santos. Also the missions and events you encounter are very different in the particular areas. From picking up hitchhikers in the middle of nowhere to drive-bys in the city. While this is not a step-by-step guide on how to make your game look like mine, I would recommend you at least install some mods when we're playing GTA 5. This way you experience the story is far more immersive even with just a few mods installed. So what are my future plans for this remaster? Well, I want to make the game even more immersive. Now I've just installed all the replacement variants of the vehicles using Vanilla Works. I actually want to add all the other vehicles to the game and make it work with RDE expanded and enhanced. This will add over 250 vehicles to the game, so that's going to be really sick. Furthermore, I want to of course complete the story with these mods. Along the way I will find what works and what does not, just like I did when playing halfway through. I think maybe 10 mods have been scrapped in my playthrough as they were not as cool as I thought, or maybe just broken. I think when I complete the story, I will add a lot of new activities like convoys and gang hits, so as to make the endgame not as boring as the vanilla version. There are also many more add-on weapons I could add, like the flamethrower, beta weapons or even improved weapons. I am satisfied with the amount of fixes and AI related changes I made, so I won't be adding any more script based mods. I also found that with the number of scripts I've installed, it is starting to eat my performance. So I don't even know how much more I can add. In conclusion, we made an incredible remaster of GTA 5 and I think I will be satisfied for the coming year while we wait for GTA 6. As always, all the links to every mod are in the description. Have a great day.